Formatting and citing figures in APA. What exactly are figures anyway? Well, figures in APA are essentially any visual other than tables. Here are some examples. Graphs typically display the relationship between two quantitative indices or between a continuous quantitative variable, usually displayed as the y-axis, and groups of subjects displayed along the x-axis. Think of the graphs you might create in Excel for data that are best suited for visual representation. Charts generally display non-quantitative information such as the flow of subjects through a process, for example, flowcharts. Drawings generally display information pictorially. We tend to think of maps geographically, but maps generally display information spatially, such as this lesion overlay map of a human brain. Photographs contain direct visual representations of information, such as this photomicrograph of brain cells, or this collection in a study about traumatic stress. When an image that might reasonably be thought to be a photographic image, as opposed to an image that is clearly a constructed image, table, chart, cartoon, etc., has been altered in a manner beyond simple cropping, clearly indicated in a note that accompanies the image that it has been altered. Now, if you photograph a person, obtain a signed release from that person to use the photograph. For your project, you might not need a release, but you might need permission while respecting individual privacy. Complexity of information will produce mixed media, such as this example of a drawing that has images as part of a flowchart. Figures are formatted with legends and captions to make them understandable and well documented. Use a simple font within 8 to 14 points capitalizing major words, and above all, keep your communication consistent, meaning it should be visually clear, legible, and logical without distractions. Now, captions are a brief explanation numbered and placed below the figure. We'll use Times New Roman for APA. Italicize the word figure, the number, and a period after. Then add a descriptive phrase which will also serve as the title of the figure. Additional explanatory information may be added after the title. Add the acknowledgement and maybe probability. An acknowledgement is like a bibliographic reference, but formatted a little differently. Hacker, Summer, and Huster, from a writer's reference, explain the citing of figures very well for students, in that, for each figure, place the figure number and a caption below the figure, flush left and double-spaced. Begin with the word figure and an Arabic numeral both italicized, followed by a period. Place the caption not italicized on the same line. If you have taken or adapted the figure from an outside source, give the source information immediately following the caption. Use the term from or adapted from before the source information. Let's look at an example from a photograph we found in creativecommons.org in which you can search or browse for open and free material. In this example, we'll simply cite an outside source. The caption is placed below the figure. Times New Roman 12-point font is applied. Figure 1 is italicized following a period, and then the acknowledgement is added. You could also add an in-text citation if you needed. Here's an example in which the author is used with the figure number leading to the full reference. Now, this is only a suggestion, so check with your course instructor for details. Information has surprising values. You've heard the expression, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, that is a helpful description when considering what images are used for. Whether you are contemplating abstract art or summarizing a percentage in a pie chart, images often provide summaries or representations of information for the viewer or reader to understand. While images are visual, they also have textual descriptions added to the digital formats called alternative text, which makes even visuals more accessible to everyone. You should consider using alternative text when designing your own visuals. But what about the art and science of designing? Well, try using a free design program called Canva, or professional applications like Adobe Illustrator, which is also available on campus along with the entire Adobe Creative Cloud. Don't forget, we have LinkedIn Learning in our database list so that you can use for help in learning how to design visuals such as graphs, illustrations, or infographics. If you need help with formatting or citing figures in APA, please ask.